Good evening, everybody. Michael sitting behind the mic now, along with my co-host, Ron. Ron, the investigation is the title for tonight. So with that being said, the two officers involved in pushing a 75-year-old man to the ground are finally charged. Can you believe this? Thank God. They're finally charged. Yet in court, they claimed they were innocent.
Well, let's hope justice too.
You're absolutely right, Ron. I hope it's a fast and speedy trial. This should actually be cut and dry. I mean, come on. Have you ever seen a case that had video like this before?
Not really, Mike. Well, we've seen things lately that are crazy, but pushing a 75-year-old man down, hurting him like that, it's kind of crazy.
Oh, that took a set of balls, and then you have to push a 75-year-old man to the ground, and the cop himself probably was in his mid-30s. Some talent that took. Yeah.
They could have had respect for him and not done anything like that, Just went around him. I don't know why he did it. But the trial will show why he reacted the way he did.
But you often wonder sometimes how they pass a psychologist test. What does that mean? Better off taking them off the streets than what you are leaving them on the streets, Ron. People in fear of their life walking down the street now, in fear of they'll get maced or hit with a billy club or suffocated even.
You haven't heard anything yet. Mothers are afraid when their children go out somewhere that they might not make it home alive because the cops are going to kill them. I think that's something.
That's really sad that we have to live in a world that we're in fear for our life walking down the street. That is really sad.
Well, it's really getting out of hand, though. You can't blame all the police for this. There's a few rotten eggs in everything, I suppose. But the thing is that there are some people that they're really just totally out of their minds when they want the whole police department abolished, like in Minneapolis, because of that incident. And there's a difference between abolishing something and reforming something. All they have to do is reform the police department, not abolish it. See? And I tell you, by and large, most police, what do you think of this? Don't you think, Mike, that most police forces do have the respect for their public, like in most cities?
Yes
or no?
Absolutely. Most police departments have the public's respect, except for a few of them. I think in every city you have a jerk amongst the crowd somewhere. In every barrel there's a couple of rotten apples. So the thing is to weed them out. That's where the commissioner's got to step in. Don't suspend people who do things like push an old man down to the ground. The question really is, why do they still have a fucking job? Give me a break. I mean, if you or I did that, we'd be fired on the spot. And they're barking louder, they still have a job? Give me a break.
Well, I'll tell you, if they think they can really push that agenda and get the police department abolished, it's never going to happen. Who would people call? I mean, who would people get if they called 911? They needed policemen or policewomen, Who would they get?
Well, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. That's the whole thing. They're scared to call the police now. Okay? Oh, God. What, you're going to come in and you say something wrong to them, they shoot you? It could be. You don't know.
there are millions of cases handled a year in the United States by police. And you only hear about a couple of dozen or so that really go bad. You know, I mean, there are millions and millions of cases where they're called in, and most people are happy with the results of that. You don't hear about too many bad things like we've been hearing about lately.
It's true. It seems to be as the years go on, it gets worse and worse. Well, this is just terrible what happened over the last 2 weeks. All right, terrible situation for all the families that are involved. There's been multiple incidences over multiple states within the past 2 weeks. And that's just sad. Knowing they took an oath to protect and serve, okay, not to protect, serve, and kill.
Yeah, there's hardly anyone that wants people to have authority over them anymore. Well, I'm not saying hardly anyone, but there are too many people out there that don't want anybody to have any authority over them. So, I mean, I was on the subway train today, and I sat down about 4 or 5 feet away from a woman there, and the man across from me said, "Hey, you got to move 6 feet away," So I moved a little over, about a foot or two, and the man said again, 6 feet. I said, "Why don't you get a ruler out?" I said, "You make a good cop, And he said, "Don't insult me like that." Can you imagine that? I mean, he wanted to be bossy to me. So, I don't use subways too much, but I mean, this is really insulting. That somebody wants to boss you around. I was wearing a mask in the subways and things like that, But
it is. And some
it's
people,
not up to him to tell me what to do,
No, it's not.
The lady didn't mind. So whatever. But this guy had to be bossy. So whatever.
You're absolutely correct about this.
So Mike, I'll explain it this way. I don't mind people having authority over me when they have the papers for it, right?
Right.
When they've had the training for it and whatever else. But the thing is that, how can I put it? This young man has no reason to be talking to me like that in public, shaming me in front of other people on the subway train. You get what I mean?
Yes.
The guy has no papers to have authority over me. He's just being insulting to me. So I sort of insulted him back, and I knew it was being an insult to him when I said that to him. Like he'd make a good cop, So, and he did say, "That's insulting," And one other lady kind of laughed, that was on the subway with us. There were only about 8 people on the subway with us.
That's really strange. 8 people. Wow. That's really strange.
See. Mike?
Yeah.
Have you had similar experiences where people want to push people around or be bossy to you that don't have authority? Anything to say about that yourself?
Oh, man, you wouldn't believe how many people try that stuff with me. Man, I just tell them like it is and what I think about them at that point in time. I mean, I can't say on here, in case the ladies are listening here. It's just that they think they're a cop themselves, okay? That's the whole thing. Security guards, individual people in stores, it's like they're running around with a badge on, you know, and they're trying to boss you around here and there and everywhere. It's unbelievable. Even in the grocery stores that I went, I find that people don't even listen to the social distancing when typically they should, because I'm sure that people from the CDC have a lot more experience than the average Joe does. Okay? So I would believe they would know better. In fact, I told some guy that they would know a lot better. Not some schmuck like you. Exactly what I said to him. But it was pretty cool. He left me alone, and I was actually 7 feet away from him. The manager came by and asked me if there's something wrong, you know. And I didn't have to say 2 words, because he started saying he's not 6 feet away. The manager turned around and said, yeah, he's 7 feet away.
Right.
So, yeah, it was just unbelievable. You know, so,
I don't know.
You know, changing the topic. Changing the topic to, you know, the coronavirus for a minute. You know, people don't understand that this coronavirus is far from over with. Okay? This isn't even the tip of the iceberg yet. All right? So, I mean, with this being said, you know, in Florida and many other states, it has leveled off somewhat. And there's not too many new cases. So this is pretty cool. Okay? And people are listening. This is the only way to get rid of this thing is when people listen. You know? Myself, there's only one site that I trust, and of course it's my opinion about it, and that's the CDC website. Okay? These people know a lot more than I do. Alright? So, I mean, it's not going to break anybody to buy a mask from one of these known outlets, you know, and it's one that's at least washable so you don't have to keep buying it over again. Sometimes you get a deal like 3 for $30. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So you get a real deal like that, okay, it's great. You're washing one, it's drying out, you got the other ones. That's kind of cool to do. Okay? So, you know, with that, you know, as I said, this is one deadly disease, and there's a second one in the United States now that just goes after your organs. So, you got to be kind of careful with that one. I'm not sure.
Actually,
go ahead, Ron.
You can just put a handkerchief around, a large-sized handkerchief around your face. That's okay, too. You know, they've accepted that. You know, just like the old masked men that used to rob stagecoaches, you know, that's what you look like. Whatever. You can do it a cheap way, you know. You don't need one of these things. Right?
It has to be something that's like spray-proof, pardon my expression. Okay? Because I have noticed in stores, and again, I'll tell you this, these people who sneeze, they drop their mask and they sneeze. Okay? So all the germs and everything go out through the air. And it's just horrible. They're scared to sneeze inside or put a handkerchief underneath the mask.
Exactly.
Of course, some of them haven't got common sense that God gave the common dog either. But,
interesting.
You know, you got to feel sorry for them when they do that. You know. I myself, to take the risk factor out of it, I started having everything delivered. I don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you buy it from one of these companies, you're paying no more than what you would if you went into that store.